The New York Mets were the talk of baseball this past offseason. After selling the team to multi-billionaire businessman Steve Cohen, on they went to build a winning team. What Cohen did was make it clear that he is a Mets fan himself first and foremost and isn't in it for the money, but rather for his childhood team to be consistently successful. Right away, that was a breath of fresh air for Mets fans, especially when Cohen held his word and went out and started making moves. After signing solid reliever Trevor May, trading for Francisco Lindor, signing catcher James McCann, and then giving Francisco Lindor a big contract extension, Mets fans couldn't have been any more excited for the season to start. As for the expectations going into opening day, well, they were massive. As for the reality, it's been ugly, and that's saying the very least. It's gotten to the point where Mets fans are booing their own players, and Mets players are insulting their own fans. Seriously. Take a second to like this video, and if you're new to the channel and end up enjoying this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button for future baseball content. Francisco Lindor has not been anywhere near the player he was in Cleveland to start off his Mets tenure, as he's hitting around 220 and has an OPS under 700. James McCann, another big money guy, is hitting around 240 with an OPS under 700. And you know what? I'm not going to go through this entire Mets offense. All that has to be said is that it's been bad all year long. Pete Alonso, the back-to-back home run derby winner, has easily been the best hitter for this Mets team, but other than him, there's not too much to talk about. The pitching has been good, and in some ways impossibly good. Marcus Stroman has pitched the most innings on the team with the second best ERA behind Jacob deGrom. deGrom has a 1.08 ERA. Ridiculous, right? But there's a catch to that, like there always is with this Mets team, as he's been having arm issues all year and has only been limited to a certain amount of innings. The bullpen has some potential, and overall the pitching staff is actually pretty damn good. Unfortunately for them, the offense has been so underwhelming. I could make an entire video on how disappointing the 2021 Mets have been, and maybe I will, hell, but for now, there's something that recently happened that needs to be discussed. Javier Baez, former Cubs superstar, was traded in this recent trade deadline to the Mets. Baez has been bad ever since putting on a Mets uniform, and the fans are not happy. When Francisco Lindor was struggling really bad earlier in the season, Mets fans booed him. They seem to be doing the same with Baez, and he isn't very happy about it. In a recent game between the Mets and Nationals, the Mets were able to score 9 runs and beat the Nats 9-4. Baez, Lindor, and Kevin Pillar were all a part of the hit parade, and after their hits, all did a very questionable celebration, clearly all putting their thumbs down. People noticed it, with reporters deciding to question the celebration move and motive. In his post-game press conference, this is what Javier Baez had to say on the matter.
What does the thumbs down celebration after a big hit mean?
This is the booze that we get. We're not machines. We're gonna struggle. You know, we're gonna struggle 7 times out of 10, and you know, it just feels bad when we strike out. When I strike out and I get booed, you know, it doesn't really get to me. But like I want to let them know that when we success, we're gonna do the same thing to know how to let them know how it feels. You know, because if we win together, then we gotta lose together, you know, and the fans are really big part of it. So, in my case, they gotta be better, you know. I play for the fans and I love the fans, but you know, if they're gonna do that, they just putting more pressures on the team, and that's not what we want. It was my opinion, you know, and it's just how I feel, you know. Like I say, I love the fans and I like playing for the fans, but we can't have our fans against us.
Mets manager Luis Rojas was pretty vocal against what Baez did, talking about how he's just getting used to being in a new uniform, that he's venting, and it's an overall learning experience, clearly not showing any support for the celebration. So not only are the Mets way worse than what anyone, especially their fans, expected, but now they're starting to turn against their own fans. As you would expect, there was a ton of controversy over the comments and actions made by Baez and his teammates during and after the game, getting to the point where the Mets front office and ownership had to chime in, actually taking the side of the fans. This is what the statement from team president Sandy Alderson said exactly. Quote, in a post-game press conference today, Javi Baez stated that his thumbs down gesture during the game was a message to fans who recently have booed him and other players for poor performance. These comments and any gestures by him or other players with a similar intent are totally unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Mets fans are understandably frustrated over the team's recent performance. The players players and the organization are equally frustrated, but fans at Citi Field have every right to express their own disappointment. Booing is every fan's right. The Mets will not tolerate any gesture that is unprofessional in its meaning or is directed in a negative way toward our fans. I will be meeting with our players and staff to convey this message directly. Mets fans are loyal, passionate, and knowledgeable, and more than willing to express themselves. We love them for every one of these qualities." End quote. The Mets are an absolute dumpster fire right now. The fans hate the players hate the fans, the ownership and front office are publicly shaming the players, and to top it all off, the team isn't even good. Let me know what you think about this mess, and thank you for watching.